So what we like to do at these events is, try to kind of a little bit of a table setting from the beginning, a little thought leadership, kind of really, asking some of the questions I think we all have in mind, and hear from some people that are actually out there doing it. Kathy, you mind just doing a little short introduction of who you are and what you're up to?
Yeah, so my name is Kathy Huntebrinker. My husband Mark and I own Simply Clean Laundry Service in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a little unique to the business. We started as a cloth diaper service in 2006, and then we proceeded to start commercial laundry and residential laundry. So we've never owned a laundromat.
Case in point, right? All right, Kelly?
I'm Kelli Reed. We're out of Kentucky. We own Splash 'Em Out Laundries along with my husband, Joe Dan. We've been in the laundry business for approximately 20 years. We just recently opened a private facility, moving everything from our laundromats to there. We really enjoy being in the business, and we're glad all you guys are here.
And Kelly, how many laundromat locations are there that are feeding into that plant?
We have nine stores.
Okay, great. Ross, what's going on?
Hi, Ross Dodds out of Los Angeles. My husband and I started with laundromats first. We have 11 currently, and then similar to Kelly and Joe Dan, we just recently moved from, we did have a facility that we built in 2019, and we just moved to a new one that's 6,000 square feet. Just last year for our pickup and delivery through Wash Club.
Okay, so pretty interesting kind of spread here. People that have been doing it a little bit different in some aspects of the model, and some things being the same. And so we've been charged with talking about innovation. So we've seen all this incredible progress in this space, and especially for a group like this, we want to be talking about like what are the cutting edge innovations that we're seeing? And so I just thought maybe kind of go back through the same rotation, starting with Kathy. Like what are some of or pick one, innovations that you're sort of excited about in terms of how your business is coming to market?
Yeah, so this year we installed new washers and reversing dryers, which allows us to dry everything much quicker. This increased our capacity by about 40%. We also installed new auto-injecting chemical pumps so that we're not hand adding any detergents, especially for all of our residential accounts, which is really growing a lot.
Outstanding, great. Kelly, when you say innovation, what comes to your mind?
So we, once we opened our closed facility, we purchased a Voltex, which helps us streamline our employees, not necessarily downsize, but it helps us make more use of them. We just purchased a Continental ironer, so that allows us to go out and get additional business streams to our business. We are currently in the process of retooling our washers at our closed facility as well. So we're hoping that with all our current and future items, we're going to be able to move a lot faster and just use our system a lot more efficient. Okay,
so I'm hearing a lot of like reinvesting, like you're putting the capital at work to make sure that you can handle the volume, do so efficiently. Ross, what does innovation mean to your business these days?
Well, similar with the facility, we have the auto injection, and then we also got ozone in this new facility. I think for us, we continue to try to streamline how we handle customers and handle new commercial inquiries to try to flow it through an answering service. And then I'm interested in still kind of dipping my toes in bringing more AI into the chat flow for either the website and ordering. So we're working on that stuff to try to bring down our overall payroll and how much has to come to me.
Ross, you've got a little bit of a social media reputation for your good luck when it comes to vehicles in the fleet, but I'd love to hear from you in terms of innovation, technology. What are some of the things that are on your mind when it comes to getting the laundry from point A to point B?
Yeah, I mean, we swapped out our vans for Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrids. So that will do 32 miles on the charge before switching over to gas. And that took us from having we used to have gas delivery daily to now we get gas once a week, and it's usually less than a half a tank. And we're averaging probably about 100 and something miles a day in one van, and then the second one does a little bit less. And then camera is very important, important in Los Angeles. So we have a camera system, but also has AI in it. So if it detects the driver is distracted, it will actually audible come over and say distracted driving. And then that emails my management and myself what they were doing. And obviously creates the video clip too, and then we can route track. So that's been very important to be able to then work with our drivers on, are you following our procedures of using our software that tells you the route you should be taking and being the most efficient.
So I don't want you to give away any secrets, but just give us a sense of, those two vehicles out there, like, how many stops, like in a day or a week, like, give us a sense of, what that mileage kind of equates to.
Yeah, so our commercial route, we run commercial in the morning and residential in the evening. Our commercial route consists of, I want to say, 20-something stops, and that's done with 2 drivers. And then residential has been much slower for us in the last 6 months. So we usually have 2 drivers 2 days a week, and otherwise we're just running 1 driver for our residential at nighttime.
Okay. Kelli, same question about delivery vehicles, fleet management, anything you want to share out about getting the laundry where it needs to go?
We currently have vans in our fleet, and we also just purchased a box truck for our commercial deliveries. For us, we will take residential, but we are aiming towards commercial. It works out to where we make less stops picking up commercial versus residential. Residential, you can make close to 40 to 60 stops per day versus commercial. If you have good, solid clients, you might pick up maybe 10 to 15 per day. So it just lessens the wear and tear on your car, your payroll. It just increases your profitability.
Okay. Kathy?
Yes. So we have minivans and we have trackers on all of our vans. So every day we get reports of how their driving is, things like braking alerts, speeding alerts. We have looked into the cameras to watch for distracted driving as well. We can also use those trackers to really see how long they're taking at each stop, how long they take to load and unload, and then we take all that information and put it into our metrics that we talk to the drivers about how to be more efficient. A lot of our routes, we combine commercial and residential, but again, if they are heavy on residential, then they'll do 30 to 40 stops a day. If they're more commercial, it's probably more around 20.
Good. Well, and this reminds me of an opportunity to just quickly mention insurance, because a lot of the innovations you're talking about are one way or another related to keeping this all insurable. So again, with Jason here and Alex here this week, one of the things we run into a lot is folks being not fully insured or properly insured for the delivery part of this business. So it doesn't hurt just to ask the question. Those guys know it, chapter and verse. Just make sure that as you're taking these different measures to try to reduce claims and, of course, efficiency and measuring your team, but at the end of the day, insurance is a big part of that, and I know you've all been dealing with that. Okay, some other innovation topics. Well, a couple of you touched on labor, but I'd like to revisit that a little bit in terms of automation and some of the things that you're doing to make sure that you're getting the most out of your team. So whether we talked a little bit about your delivery team, but let's talk about production, Ross. Like, what are some things that that you've looked at to help sort of streamline how they're helping you get this laundry done?
Yeah, I mean, we stagger shifts, so somebody starts in the morning, typically 30 to an hour before anybody else comes in so that everything can be in the wash already. And then they kind of split up amongst themselves who's going to continue loading the washer to dryer and then to folding. That's it for me.
Okay, good. Kelly, you want to talk about labor a little bit more?
So one thing that we have implemented in our stores, we've in the past always had 2 shifts of workers. We currently added smart lockers to each of our locations, which allows us to only have 1 shift from 2 until close. Our smart lockers notify us when a drop has been put into the lockers so that we can either have second shift process it or we can actually put it on the route for pickup and delivery. As far as our warehouse, we have everything preloaded the night before, so we set our washers to start approximately an hour before our shift comes in. So when they come in, they can go ahead and start processing the laundry, and that helps save quite a bit of time. Our driver comes in approximately 2 hours after our first shift of processors come in. We have 2 shifts. The first shift comes in around 4 a.m. and the second shift of processors comes in approximately 9 a.m. All of our stores are strictly first and second shift. We don't have any 24-hour stores. Sometimes we do stay longer in the warehouse depending on the orders we get. We do try to get our team members home, at a fairly reasonable hour. It just makes for a good working environment for us and our team members.
Yeah, especially these days, like those
Yes.
lifestyle considerations for your team become that much more important. And Kathy, you talked about auto injection, but what are some other things that you're looking at in terms of automation and optimizing your team? Because you've got a lot of laundry to do.
Yes. So in our plant, we do most days run 24 hours, Monday through Friday, and we stagger shifts as well. So our first shift comes in around 3 in the morning. She gets things washing and ready, and the rest of the team comes in throughout the morning. We also do it a little different, that we have certain employees that only do the washing and some that only do the folding, so that not everyone is loading machines and dryers. We think that really cuts down on the chance of error, and it lets our folders just totally focus on folding and really increases their speeds.
Wow. Okay, I'm wondering if I would be a loader or a folder.
Right.
I like to think I'm pretty good at folding. Okay. Wash chemistry. We talk about auto injection, but I just always want to touch on that, Ross, in terms of, what are some of the innovations or things that you've done or looking to do just related to, getting the best end product, right? You got to have the right wash chemistry if you're going to deliver a high quality product, whether it's your commercial accounts and especially the residential accounts.
Yeah, in the facility, it's important to have a higher water temperature, so we're able to do that in the facility better than we can in the laundromat, and make sure that the water being delivered at the machine is staying at that temperature too. The ozone, like I mentioned, is new for us, and then with the auto injection, we have probably 14 or 18 different wash cycles. And so when we bring on a new client, if they have special needs, then we work with our chemical company to create a new cycle in the machine to try to cut down if we have to pre-treat or anything like that, and have the most efficient cycle for what we're washing.
And Kelly, what about all the different wash programs that you must have to have on board to handle the variety of things coming through your door?
We do. Right now, we just ordered a chemical injection system. Not only will it help provide, good quality service for your customers, but it's also going to cut down our costs, because no matter how much you tell an employee what to use, they're going to just pour. So just think about all the money you're literally throwing down the drain.
Well, I'd love, Kathy, for you to follow up on that, because I know that's been a big part of your focus.
Yeah, definitely. The auto injectors have helped a lot. We were finding similar things with a lot, spent on laundry detergent. We went from liquid detergent to using pods because we thought that was better for the employees to really know exactly how many to put in. And now with the auto injectors and the formulas, there's no question how much detergent is getting in. Because of our background with the diaper service, we have a lot of knowledge with different chemicals and working with the different formulas. So when we get a commercial client, we can adjust their formula to have more upfront rinses or longer soaks, things like that. We can adjust the pH of the material to really open up the weave and things like that.
Well, my natural follow-up question to that is, how do you, especially with new business, like how do you sort of communicate the incredible value of that? Having the right program, the right chemistry on board, because I'm sure you're not the cheapest, I'm guessing. And so you must have some way of letting people know, and maybe it's just part of your sales process, about this is how we do it.
Yeah. So we really talk to the customer about what they need, whether they need bleach, whether they need items pre-treated. Maid services, of course, get a lot more rinses in those higher temperatures. So that's what we really focus on that when we're first signing someone up. Okay,
Ross, I'm just going to go off script a little bit here, but because Kathy opened the door to it. Especially for some of our newer folks here, they want to hear like what types of businesses are you serving as commercial accounts? Can you rattle off some types of businesses that you do commercial business for?
Yeah, we do a corporate housing similar to like Airbnb, but a little bit longer term is what they're focused on. Yoga studios. Med spas is pretty big for us because they were essential in California during COVID. You can't go without Botox. Women's health, the new private medical facilities that are opening, they're higher end, so they provide a really nice gown and use sheets versus the paper that most of us probably get at the doctor's office. So we've picked up a lot of that type of clients beginning with COVID.
Kelli, some other types of commercial accounts you might add to that list?
We do clinics, like Ross, we do Airbnbs. Really, we do some dental offices. Really, if you go outside of your business and look all around, there's business everywhere you can get. So whether it's residential, commercial, small businesses, they're not going to come to you normally. You just have to, get out there and beat the streets and be proactive.
Good. Kathy, what else is on your list, types of commercial accounts?
Yeah, we do dermatologists, we do imaging centers, we do a lot for janitorial services that clean large corporations. We do gyms, hair salons, and we do med spas as well, and Airbnbs.
It's a pretty good list. Those of you that are looking to kind of figure out where should I be looking. And Kelli, I love that. We used to call it like laundry radar, right? You sweep the area. Just about every small business within earshot is some kind of laundry need.
Exactly.
And it's sometimes a pain in the neck for them. They're doing it at home. They're doing it with a home style machine on premise. Whatever they're doing, it's not as well as what you can do for them. And so that knocking on doors. And one of the things we were talking last night with the group is kind of my favorite piece of advice, which is even places that have that OPL situation, make sure you're handing off that brochure or that magnet. Like, let me be your backup, right? Because inevitably, they're going to have a machine down, they're waiting on a part, and they can't wait, right?
Or an employee that doesn't show up.
Or an employee that doesn't show up. So if you can kind of get tacked on their board, and so when the employee doesn't show up or the machine is down, you can help them as a backup. Anyone have a little anecdote you want to share? I'm sure you've had a whole ton of laundry fall out of the sky unexpectedly from time to time.
I mean, that's actually what made us decide to build our first facility. Is we were processing in one of our laundromats, and we were processing 24 hours a day. I just couldn't. I need to sleep at some point and not have my employees calling me because there's a problem. And I'm definitely not folding at 2 in the morning. But we picked up emergency, a nursing home. Their on-premise broke. So initially it was supposed to be like 1 week. And we did 2 pickups a day with them. We were processing like almost 3,000 pounds just instantly with them. And it was like, wow, if this ever happened again, like we really upset some customers. So that's when we started building our facility. And then lucky for us, they decided that, well, it's actually time we upgrade our laundry. So we ended up having them for about 6 weeks. So that built the first facility.
Any other anecdotes about emergency calls and lots of laundry showing up?
Well, fortunately for us, how we have streamlined our stores, we can actually go to 1 shift or 0 shifts, so we can actually pull employees, which works for us to help get through. And like Ross, that's why we had a closed facility built, because we were upsetting customers, and there's nothing worse than losing your floor business because you're trying to do your pickup and delivery business. So you're gaining one and you're taking the risk of losing the other.
Just so happens we have a presentation coming up on that very topic, don't we, Travis? Good stuff. Kathy, bunch of laundry falling out of the sky, showing up
Yeah.
on your doorstep?
We have a local community center that does their own laundry, and then a lot of times in the summer they will get overloaded with towels from the swimming pools and things. So they'll call us every once in a while throughout the summer and just say we have too many, and they're really nearby, so we can process them fast. They don't even need them folded, so it's just a matter of running them through and getting them right back to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of the refrains I hear. I can't believe how much laundry. I can't believe how much laundry. I can't believe how much laundry. That's, that spells business, right? Especially if you're prepared to handle that. Another question we had on the list here is just sort of your personal management tools. Like what are the? It's probably your phone, but I mean, what are some other, whether it's a piece of software, a piece of equipment, just some kind of technology that helps you do what you do every day? Anything come to mind?
Our POS system for our pickup and deliveries and drop-offs, that really helps us. If it wasn't for, I remember 10 years ago when we were doing pickup and delivery, it was, put everything in your Google Calendar and hope you didn't miss anyone. So being able to move to a POS system with good routing software has really been a game changer for us.
Good. Other examples, Ross or Kathy?
We added Reception HQ. So we actually have 4 numbers with them. So the incoming for our laundromats and incoming for pickup and delivery. And then they take messages, and that forwards over to Open Phone. Thank you, Luke. So we got Open Phone, and then you can assign the same number to multiple people to access, so that the receptionist sends a text message to the Open Phone number, and then we can either call or text from that. And I mean, with pickup and delivery, it's a little more order placing or commercial. They actually call if it's a new commercial client, so that we can deal with them right away. For laundromat side, a lot of issues can be resolved without even talking to the customer, now that we have that stop point of the receptionist, because they can take the loyalty card number and text over like, oh, the dryer charged me twice. And then I can go into the system and just add the money back, and then text them, money's refunded. And they're like, oh. So that's been big for us.
Make the customer happy and make your life a little bit easier, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Kathy, what about technology that just helps you do your day-to-day?
Yeah, we also have a POS system that allows us to do the route, and it involves a lot of texting options, so that has helped a lot cut down on the phone calls, that we're able to just get messages from the customers and work things out quickly through the messaging system. The drivers also use the software to do all their routing and everything from that angle, so.
Yeah, and just a reminder, because of our role as an association, we're brand agnostic, right? And so if you've got specific questions, you can come see these guys later. What are you using for this? And the good news is next door, we've got a whole showroom here of all the options. You can go have those conversations and try to line up the solutions that are best for you. All right, I don't know who's ready with their crystal ball. You can decide who wants to go first. I mean, when you start to look down the road, so whether it's a wish list, something you wish was around, or something you think is coming your direction, when you look down the road, what do you see innovations, whether that is technology, business model, marketing, labor, any things we've talked about, what are you looking forward to down the road?
I'm looking forward to additional automation. I mean, we have what we are wishing for, but hopefully here in the next few years, we'll get to that point where we have added additional customers, so we'll have to add additional automation to our facility. It's like 10 years ago. No, everyone was cutting their grass. Today, how many people have grass cutters? So it's getting to that point with laundry. Nobody has time. People are time poor. They want to spend time with their kids, their family, or they're just simply working too much and they don't have time.
Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be a lot more laundry to do. So Kathy, what's on your wish list or looking down the road? What are some of the things that come to your mind in terms of innovation in models or technology or marketing or other things that you're doing?
Yeah, we are looking into getting a folding machine as well, especially as we continue to grow our commercial accounts and get some more of that repetitive laundry coming in. So that's one thing we're looking at. We currently own the building we're in, but there is land around it. So we have thought about building extra storage. We are, as we expand, we could use a little more room. So that's some of the things. We've also looked at subscription service. Right now we're just per pound. So we've thought about going to more of a subscription based, and we're thinking that through.
Okay, good. Ross, you're always thinking a few steps ahead.
I think just continuing to streamline interactions with the customer so it can be more instant. I mean, like it or not, Amazon has trained us that why can't we have it in an hour? So we're just kind of continuing to try to add more options for chatting and versus long calls and stuff like that. So I think AI, robots, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just a little plug for the Clean Show next year. I think you saw it on a slide, August, 23rd to the 26th. I think you're going to see an unprecedented amount of options when it comes to automation and other things to help streamline the processing of laundry. And this 3-year break between shows, I think, is going to really surprise some people with what is going to be on the market for us to take a look at. And again, we're going to get a peek at some of that over the course of this conference in terms of the tabletops and some of the presentations that are yet to come. Let's see what else that we did not get to, and I want to see if we've got time for questions, if that's okay with Danielle. Can we just kind of go back to this? I mean, you touched on it, Ross and Kelli, but just a little bit more about this standalone facility and just kind of what difference that has made for your operation. Because I know there's different schools of thought, and some sort of graduate at a certain point, and some are able to handle it within the stores, but I just want to explore that a little bit further because I think that's pretty interesting for the folks here.
For us, it was being able to get the automation along with our employees to have a consistent job, a consistent folding. Like the Foltex folds everything consistent. Our ironer, does everything consistent. So like Kathy, we have different employees that are in charge of different stages of the laundry system. So for us, it was to alleviate from being within our stores, but it was also to have that good product for the customer so that we can grow, so that, you become a word of mouth wherever you are, so you just are able to grow.
Mm-hmm. How much of a role did storage play for you, Ross?
Oh,
I mean, because
for us.
Yeah, that's the bugaboo I hear all the time is just
Right.
I don't have anywhere to put this laundry.
Well, that was part of the problem at the stores, you know, we were piling stuff everywhere. We have 20,000 square feet, and then we have a separate building behind that, so we're able to store, and we do actually store some of our clients' linens as well, where they might have a small room at their hotel. They just don't have the storage space, so it works well for us because they actually become dependent on us to where they're going to keep coming back if we provide that good product.
Okay, storage, Ross, is that
I
a
think
factor?
being in Los Angeles and our size of stores, I mean, when I started pickup and delivery, we were operating out of the laundry was 1,800 square feet, and I just happened to be lucky enough to take the little side after the fire that happened. So we had a little extra storage, but I mean, 1,800 square feet in a densely populated, that laundry's already pretty much operating at its full capacity by itself. So I think our store sizes and washer capacity is what pushed us to have to go private probably sooner than we'd really need to otherwise. And then again, the consistency, I mean, a lot more can get mixed up, or when you're working with your customers too. If you're lucky enough to at least like have a little separate area within your laundromat that you have some machines and can process, then you can stay within your laundry a lot longer, I think. But yeah, I mean, customers, they think it's in this dryer and it's really in this dryer. And if you're processing a fluff and fold order, all of a sudden they're walking out the door with the fluff and fold order.
Yeah, even though it's labeled, they'll still do it.
So Kathy is our resident non-laundromat owner, a growing number of our members that don't have a store. How have you approached some of those needs for the facility in terms of storage and production? And I've seen people, trying to optimize vehicles getting in and out and easy loading and those kind of things. You talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one thing that we use a lot of is shelves on wheels, so rolling shelves. So the drivers are able to pull into our plant, which is nice to not be out in the weather unloading and loading. And then we have rolling shelves. They load everything onto the shelves. When the shift comes in for our residential washing at 3 in the morning, she'll roll that right to the washing area. And then the standalone facility is really nice because we can have really large folding areas. So our folders have large tables with storage underneath that they use. They put the clean laundry back on rolling shelves again. And then the routes are organized on these shelves, ready, labeled with the driver's names, and they can roll them right to their van and load up from there. So it's really nice to have all that room and the movement of the shelves.
So it makes me think about like health and safety, ergonomics. So anything to add, Kelly or Ross, on that part of it? Fatigue mats or
We do have fatigue
We
mats.
do too.
anything else that, like how you're making it a little bit easier for the...
In the facility, we have the big scale, so we can roll carts right onto it, so they don't have to lift as much. I mean, obviously, they still have to load washers and whatnot, but lifting the bags repeatedly, that cuts down on it because it comes out of the van, and all the carts are pre-labeled with how much they weigh, so we can reduce that off of the weight.
Good. Any other thoughts on making it easier for your employees?
If you are doing drop off in stores, when we built our first few stores, we didn't think about it, but the last ones we built, and since then we've remodeled our service desk, we lowered the actual service counter, so your customer's not picking up a big bag. They're just simply coming in and setting it on the scale.
There's those little things, right, that can make a big difference and be a differentiator in what you're trying to do. Okay, I think we're good for questions. You think so? Okay. All right. Who's got a question? Well, I'll get this one, Nika. Then Nika, you'll find out Nika, she'll get the mic.
Hello, my name is Obama. I'm out of Washington, D.C. We are in the process of purchasing a zombie laundromat. What are some of the, what is a misstep that you see new laundry owners come into the business and they make where maybe you've learned with your experience, like what you would do right away, as opposed to someone who comes in and they might buy everything under the sun, but they may not need certain things. What's like one thing you would tell that one owner who just came into the business, you need to start with this first?
I mean, I think from your customer standpoint, know what customer you're going after, and then stick with that. Because in the beginning, particularly for me, when first opened, it was like, I want every customer because I need their money. And
That's one way to put it, yeah.
He's so funny.
And I mean, we removed all of our all top loaders, and in the beginning, we would have some people that would walk out. And I had to start recognizing, like, I'm watching a backpack walk out. I don't need that customer with a backpack of laundry. I need the mom coming in that needs to unload in 4 carts. Like, so really don't focus on the wrong customer and don't worry about serving that customer.
Okay. Any other beginner advice?
I think you need to take a step back. So if you're wanting to retool or not retool, I'm not sure which way you're going to go. Do you want it to continue to be a zombie mat, or do you want it to flourish? There's a reason why it's a zombie mat. For us, we immediately retool all of our equipment so that, and put up, a sign, new ownership, so that they know that you're coming in, that you're not the past owner. I think that's very important to do first. Customers will start to see you do small things like paint, flooring, little things like that. You want a good, clean atmosphere with good lighting. You want it safe for your customers and your employees. Have cameras, have a security system. They want to know that they're safe when they come into your facility.
Well, for the both of you, and then Nika's got a question for us in the back, but I'm sure you've had this experience where you take over a store, you fix it up, and customers are literally thanking you. Thank you so much, right?
Yes.
Thank you for taking better care of us. Thank you for cleaning this place up. Thank you for, and it's really a good feeling, right?
It
Because
is.
business is soon to follow.
Everybody likes nice things.
Yeah. Okay, got a question back here?
All right.
There we go.
My name is Nicholas. I'm from Michigan, and my wife and I purchased a laundromat about a year ago. We've been doing pickup and delivery for about 3 years. We are starting to go more into the commercial. We want to explore that more. And so this question here, actually, there's 2 parts to my question. One, when you do commercial accounts, how much of the garments and laundry and stuff do they purchase, or do you have a rental program? And then the other part in storing, I think it was Kelly that mentioned about storage space and keeping stuff on hand, or maybe it might have been Kathy. Do you rent that space back to the customers as an additional revenue stream for holding it for them?
It depends on how much they have. Usually, yes, we do, because they're taking up space in your facility, and you just kind of work that into your pricing when you go meet with the customer. What I like to do when I'm going to a new facility, like a hotel or wherever that may be, I like to go visit that particular place. Am I going to have to take a van? Can I load it on a dock? Can I use my box truck? If there's a restaurant attached, can you get their laundry from the restaurant? What type of food are they serving? So there's a lot of things you need to take into account when you're going to get that new client.
And then customer-owned goods versus renting textiles.
We actually will purchase and rent for the client, or just, clean what they have. So it just depends on where the client is at that particular time. So we just kind of work with the client as to what their needs are.
Okay, Kathy, on that same question?
So we only do customer-owned goods. At the beginning of our commercial laundry, we had like a towel service that we rented out towels to salons and gyms, but we decided it was easier to only do their own goods. We don't charge any rental space. All of our commercial customers are at least a couple times a week or once a week. So we have designated carts for different customers, or they have spots on those rolling shelves where we just keep their things, but they're returned within the week.
Okay. Ross, customer-owned goods, mostly on
Yeah,
commercial?
we don't do any rental.
Okay, good. Got a question right here?
Yeah. I have a question about the injectors, the soap injectors. We struggle with removing some stains, and how good they are. Do you keep changing the formula? How efficient they are with removing the stains?
It depends what the stain is. Like our corporate housing client, we're probably having the most trouble with, because if that person has been in the apartment for a month, then the sheets and towels have already been washed probably 3-4 times before it comes to us. So then it's a lot harder to obviously get the stain out if it's already been set in. Yeah, with all of our other accounts, usually the first week or two, we'll be looking at what we're getting, and it's shocking how many customers don't actually know everything that's on their stuff. So, and we'll just keep adjusting and changing.
Yeah, and having a good relationship with your chemical distributor, right? And being able to have a partner that can help you make sure you're bringing on those correct wash programs.
Yeah, and we were with them before, but one of the things that they advanced is now they can remotely make modifications so we don't even have to schedule them to come in. So that's been great for us and for them, because it used to take us several days to get them to come in and then program all the washers.
It is a science. Nika, you had another question back there, and I'm going to walk over here and find one more. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for giving us that information. The two-part question, is your off-site facility or warehouse, is that a spoken hub model? Are you maintaining the counter spaces at the locations and then siphoning it into the facility? And then regardless of that answer, I'm also wondering, do you have a counter at the off-site processing facility?
So for us, we do not move any laundry from our laundromats currently. And out of our 11, 3 of them have fluff and fold drop-off, and we just process it there. We are starting to explore the locker system like Kelli talked about.
Okay, maintaining counters out at the laundromats to bring in laundry?
For us, we have a second shift that we do, and then we also have our smart lockers if they drop off prior to that, or if it's a holiday and we don't have an attendant. All of our pickup and deliveries are specifically taken to our off-site location. The only thing we bring from our stores would be the clothing from the smart lockers if we don't have an attendant that day.
Okay, good. Let's get Hitesh right here.
Hey, how do you break down the cost or then come up with the profit number given the different expenses for drop-off and delivery?
So in other words, that's an age-old question, right? Determining the right price. And so some people keep it standardized, and every commercial client pays something a little different. I mean, where do you guys fall on that?
We do have a standard price. However, we have to take into account what are the items, how fast are they going to need them, are we going to have to do special treatments, are they going to need to be ironed, folded a certain way, bagged a certain way. For example, we have a large account that we do, and we charge them extra because they literally want a set of linens bagged, like 2 pillows, a bottom sheet, a top sheet, whatever goes into that particular room, we have to bag separate. So you have to take into account your specific client.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that
We have-
process? I'm sure we've all made some mistakes, undercharging a client
Yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah.
figuring it out later.
We have minimum per pickup, and just kind of like increasing washer and dryer prices in your laundry. Sometimes increasing them per pound is the only thing they're focused on. So we just increased the minimum so that we could leave some of our customers at the pricing that they had for a while, but still get our increase. And then our biggest challenge, I think, especially with other small businesses that we're working with, is getting them to understand that they need more than enough towels to get them through one morning. Like they're calling at 8:30 going, "Where's the driver? We're out of towels." And I'm like, "You opened 5 minutes ago. How can you be out of towels?"
The customer's always right, Ross, come on.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that on
Yeah.
pricing structures?
We have similar, that we have a standard range for our commercial accounts that we usually go, janitorial services are in one range, versus more massage therapists and things with sheets and things are a higher range. And then within that, we do look at, how far it is, how much work it would be, and we include minimums for everything. And often with our residential service, if we don't increase the per pound, we will increase that minimum.
Good advice. Nika, last
Well,
question.
last question.
Last question. Yep.
Hi, I'm Dave from Atlanta, Georgia. I guess my question is more of a general question for all of you. First of all, thank you all for being up there. Incredibly insightful information. What are one or two things that you are confident set you head and shoulders above your competition? When I got into the business 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, show you where this industry has come. What set me apart was a handwritten thank you card and a piece of Dove candy in the envelope on the delivery.
Differentiators, what comes to your mind?
I think one thing that sets us apart, especially on the residential side, is that we are a local, family-owned company. So when people call, they almost always get me or my assistant, but usually it's me that they call, they email. So especially the older adults, that's really helpful versus some of our competitors that are more nationwide, that you might be calling in a different city and getting someone that has no idea what's happening in St. Louis. We've really worked on making our webpage more local pages and more real pictures of us and our work so that people call, and they will call and they'll say, "Oh, I saw your kids on the webpage," or, "I know where you grew up." And it really makes a difference to make those connections, especially with the residential customers.
Okay. Other differentiators that you think have been important?
For us, I would think your presentation on your end product. People like to see, you can't make a first impression twice. So that's one thing that we really grind into our employees' heads. Do a good job the first time. People want it done right. They, usually aren't looking for something free. Another thing that we do on our website, when you go to our website, it will pop up. Jodanne and I will, give a greeting. Thank you for, coming to splash them out. And, it's just so that gives a personal touch to your website as well.
Okay, Ross?
I think that's been what helped us grow, but also has become our challenge is that, like, when they call, now they are getting a call center, but even in the call center messages, a lot of times it will be like calling to speak with Ross. And it's like, I can't always be. So that's been challenging as we've grown because people have gotten used to that they're always getting to talk to me or my manager. And so trying to balance that, I had a lady school me the other night because I was out to dinner and she kept calling. And she was like, so then when I called her, she was like, "I want to speak with you." So then I called her back and she was like, "Ross, I saw your video. Congratulations on growing. Don't forget about the customer, and I was like, I was at dinner.
Laundry never sleeps, right? We know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we did this right, there are hundreds of more questions, right? So that's why we start with this, because now we've got the next 2 days to talk to each other, track these folks down, and get those additional questions answered. And so when I dismiss these folks in just a moment, just bear in mind that they're going to head to the back, give back their microphones, and we've got another short session, so don't swarm them. Wait till our break in about 15 minutes, and then I'm sure you'd be happy to answer additional questions. So I thought they were phenomenal. Thank them for their time and sharing. Appreciate y'all very much.